Well, that's about what, 5 minutes with a hacksaw blade and a piece of crocus cloth got me. Just use this here. And so now if we take and ground out my test light, we should be able to make sure that the rest of it's all in good condition. Let's see now, that one there's the one that feeds power. So if we feed power to there, yeah, that one there. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Get you back a little further. You might be able to. But all the other... So they're all making contact through them. I just wanted to check, make sure that none of these connections up here were bad, even though they look good. And yeah, we'll go put this back. I don't know where you're actually looking at. You're probably looking at the wrong spot. I don't know. Anyway, we'll bolt it back. She just sets in here. And yeah, it goes like that. And we'll see how things go. If we gained anything. I still got to clean out the inside of the plugs. That's a little more difficult. Yeah, let's see what it does now. Switch on. Yeah, it's on low. Doesn't change a bit. Where is my problem? Well, I got to go do some more diagnosing. I'm actually going to pull the radio out and reach up in there and make sure that that's plugged in all the way. Yeah, I just wiggled it. Still nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's something in this back here to do with the heater. Okay, the air conditioning part, it don't work on. Come on. I can hear a solenoid kicking in somewhere. I can get high. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I gotta go do some more research over on the other side. I think I still might have a bad connection. I don't know. Okay, everybody. I had Carol come down. She was in the side there moving the heater lever. So this is your solenoid. There's a solenoid in there. You know, I got a lot of stuff like this on the old girl that's just sitting there. Who knows what it went to originally. Well, I know this had air conditioning on it, so there's all kinds of stuff kicking around that's not plugged in. And anyway, somewheres amongst everything, we've got regular low that runs all the time, and we've got high, which I'm happy with that. You know, if I'm cold, at least I can get warmed up. But we're not going to run this in the wintertime anyway. We might run it in the fall, but just in the wintertime, summertime mainly. So it doesn't matter. And I got all this stuff hooked up down. The only thing I got left to do here on the water pump is hook up my power, which I was getting ready to do it in here, and I got into this mess here. So everything here is straightforward, you know, just fill up screws. The gum out of the steering wheel was on that piece there. I got to wash that up with some acetone, get rid of that. But, and this here just pops out with a couple of screwdrivers, you know, the horn button. So that's all self-explanatory to take apart. But this right here will get you, if you aren't familiar with it, there is a snap ring right down at the bottom, right where the end of them splines are. And you can just see the gap of it, I hope, right there. So anyway, this all pushes down. You hang on a minute. I'm going to get a set up here with a couple of screwdrivers to see if I can push this down. So I can't get that little snap ring out, not without a tool. So that is I believe it's a fine thread 5/8, because it was a nylock I had kicking around, and I don't believe I'd had a nylock that was metric. So I think that must be American thread, but I'm not positive. It was a nut that fit anyway. So I welded a 5/8 by, I don't know what that is on there. Tell you what it is, since I got a tape measure here. That's 3.5, 5/8 by 3.5. And I've got 3 5/8 washers that are going to be the follower. I'm going to go weld these 3 together. And then I'm going to take these, I think these must be 4-inch. Because that was 3.5, so that would make these 4. Yep. So I got these 4-inch bolts that are going to be welded to the follower. Oop. Don't know if you guys were in the camera or not, because I wasn't paying attention, but they're going to be welded like that, 3 of them. And then I hopefully, as I jack this down, there's a big spring under here. When I was young, I can remember taking them off without a special tool, but I don't know. You have more patience or something when you're younger. So I'm going to weld this mess together, and I'll be back. There, that's it all welded. Now, I haven't actually turned it up yet, but if you watch right down here, you'll see that gap right there should open up. There we go. Simple as that. And it doesn't take much of a tool. So now this little circlip, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to dig that off. It's going to be a 2-hand job because they're a booger, because it's not like it's a snap ring. You just got to pick at them and frig with them. But I'll get it off, now we'll get in behind. Okay. I've got that wire right here, this clip. I drove it around. The gap was back here. I drove the gap around. It got over here. Took those, put in the gap. Just spread it only a little bit, and then I could get my screwdriver under the edge of it and work it right out. Throw in stuff here. And now this should very easily come right off. And we'll use that for reassembly also. There we go. Do not lose this clip, because you'd have a hard time finding one. And now that should come right off, just like so. What this is that you're trying to get off is the lock. Anyway, I'll show you where my problem is. All this work for that right there. So tighten that right up. This does not cancel one direction because the spring is broke and gone. So I think I'm actually going to hold off on this reassembling this. While you got it apart, you might as well fix that, because it's like a $2 spring. And anyway, yeah, very simple. Just 3 washes, 3 3/8 bolts by 4 inches, 3.5-inch 5/8 bolt, and this is a 5/8 fine thread. The only reason that I would use a nylock knot is because it's taller, and I did very carefully took that nylon out before I welded it. And it was a job. You have to heat it up with a torch very slowly. And eventually, before it starts burning and smoking, you'll just start to see it bubble a little. You can get your jackknife in and you can peel that right out. And that way you don't get a bunch of smoke and stuff. Otherwise, it's a son of a gun to weld. But I'm going to hold off on that right there. And yeah, I'm kind of at a standstill there. I'm not going to finish doing my wire until I get this done. So I got to go upstairs and do a little ordering through LMC. Like I say, I got that done. I got this little pump mounted down there. I just got to hook my power up. And I ran this up here like that just to hold it up a little better. So we're coming right along. You know, a lot of things half-assed and half done, but we're gaining. The way I look at it, this is as far into the steering column as I'm going to get. We found our problems, we'll fix it. And yeah. So this is where this one's going to end, everybody. Right in the middle of it. But you saw how to get that piece off. Pretty simple. You know, make yourself a puller. For the 15 minutes it took me to gather everything and make it, well worth it. Because now I'll throw it in the toolbox with all my other stuff. I don't know what it is. Maybe my kids will, you know. So hopefully in the next video, which will be in a couple of days, we'll end up putting this all back together once I get the parts. I do have a new grill for this truck too, but I'm not going to put it in until I get the bumper welded. And I wanted to show you out here. Look at that snow. We had about a 15-minute snow squall went through. Oh, it's still snowing. And thundering. I mean, it was pretty aggressive. They had snow squall warnings out. So had a little bit of weather this evening. But anyway, take care everybody. Keep safe. We'll see you on the next one.